We got to talk about.
I remember I was going to say one thing about that. Piper came to me after the show and wanted to know what we were going to do with the white Bronco. I didn't know. So I go to Vince and say, Roddy's asking what we're going to do with the white Bronco. And Vince knew what that meant. I knew what it meant too, but it wasn't my place to start giving assets away. And he said, if he wants it, he can have it, and we'll have it hauled up to Oregon. And I said, are you sure that's what you want to do? Yeah. You know. I said, it's going to make Roddy very happy. And I told Roddy, I'm going to give you the white Bronco, title and all that, full tank of gas. And because he wanted to drive it home from Anaheim. So that's what we did. That was the story of the white Bronco. It stayed in Roddy's family. I don't know where it is now. I have no idea. But it was a keepsake that Roddy wanted to have. And Vince was smart enough in talent relations side to make that talent happy. Not because remember this, Conrad, the payoffs had not been done yet. So you don't know how happy the talent's going to be with their payoff, but you do know that one of the things that's going to make them happier is to fulfill the request about the white Bronco. So with OJ passing away, I thought of that story with those guys. I almost could pick out exactly the spot that Roddy and I were talking. And when the show was over, I think we sent somebody out to give us a tank of gas and whatever else they needed. License and registrations, Your Honor, that type thing. So it was good. It was good. It made Roddy feel good. He's a veteran. His contributions to the business will probably never be repaid fully. So it worked out nicely.
Well, let's talk about how we got there. It's the March 4th Raw. Goldust is doing a video. He's doing lots of heavy-handed stuff here with double entendres in reference to a Piper's Pit that's setting up the match. It's kind of fun stuff if you're watching with us on YouTube, grillingjr.com. It's been said that, Dustin heard that Dusty was not a big fan of the Goldust gimmick. And it makes me wonder, do you think that's the reason he named his finish Shattered Dreams? Maybe a little wink and a nod to the nickname his dad used, the American Dream. Is that the reason you think?
Might be.
Yeah.
I'm sure it contributed to it somewhat, Conrad. How much, I don't know. But when Dustin talked about Goldust being so different than the American Dream, that it would help him get out of Dusty's shadow. I got news for you. You ain't never going to get out of Dusty's shadow unless you change your name, your identity, and all that stuff. And I'm being facetious, but it's going to take something drastic like that. So what you do, you use it to build your legacy on. It's another brick in the foundation. So I was never for wasting Dusty association.
It's a shame that, they were estranged as long as they were. And it just didn't, it wasn't the family that everybody hopes for there for a bit. But I think most families have challenges like that every now and again. And, if you're going through that and you've got, you're, estranged, I guess, I just want to encourage you to keep up the good fight, man. Life's short. And, maybe one day somebody's going to look back with regret. And I hope that's not you. There's a lot of pushback in the mainstream media. There's even a gay rights advocacy group that's writing in the local paper for the WWE, in the Stamford Advocate. They're being very critical of the Goldust character and the way the WWE's programmed him on their TV. GLAAD, GLAAD, is actually coming out and saying that they've had like 100 people protesting the company because of the way they have portrayed the Goldust character, and that we have him pursuing straight men who then beat him up. In particular, this whole backstage brawl with Razor Ramon that aired on Monday Night Raw. Boy, they're under a lot of fire for this. And maybe that's the reason that Vince read that statement on the air. Do you think this character ever got close to having the the plug pulled because of the heat or no?
Probably, Conrad. I don't remember a specific conversation about it other than just in general terms. Are we still good with the Goldust push and the promotion thereof? Our answer is always yes. We're still, it's what's Bischoff's book?
Controversy creates cash.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of what we're leaning on, something along those lines in that philosophy.
Goldust appearing on mainstream television is going to be on Conan O'Brien on March 21st, just advance of WrestleMania 12. He's totally in character, of course. He's going to come on to Conan, who calls security. He starts coming on to those guys too. This is, hey, if we're trying to get over It's Bizarre and it's different and we want a little mainstream rub, Conan O'Brien, he was down to clown. Did you ever meet Conan?
Yeah. Nice guy. He brought me, Chan, and my youngest daughter, to his show, backstage deal. I think our contact there was Andy Richter.
Okay.
His sidekick, a big wrestling fan. So yeah, and Conan was a sweetheart of a guy, classy, not obstinate, not full of shit. Just a good dude, a hardworking on the road comedian who finally got his break and was making the most of it on late night television. So yeah, nice guy.
WrestleMania 12 is probably one of the high water marks for Goldust and the character. It's March 31st, 1996, Anaheim, California. We've got 15,855 fans there, 12,909 who paid a gate of $737,000. Goldust takes on Roddy Piper in a Hollywood backlot brawl. And, well, you mentioned it. The white Bronco is a big piece of it. It's obviously taped ahead of time. Roddy is going to insist that things need to be real. So he's going to wind up with a trip to the hospital and all of this too. My goodness. It was violent. It was wild. And then thanks to the OJ footage being spliced in, maybe a little cheesy. What did you think of that?
I didn't think it was cheesy. I thought it was fit the moment. And look, again, we're talking about an androgynous wrestler, 6'6", blonde wig, black lips, black ears, black eye makeup. This ain't normal. I mean, as unique as pro wrestling is in general, the Goldust character made it even that much more unique, special.
Would you consider this match to be one of the first cinematic matches in pro wrestling?
Yeah, absolutely. Pre-taped, edited, and I think, as I recall, the editing was somewhat less than one would think. Those guys pulled it off. They knew what they wanted to do. They'd brainstormed, they'd strategized, and now it's time to execute. And when you got a guy like Roddy Piper, who's got a spotlight on him at an event called WrestleMania, you're going to get some good shit. The same thing for Dustin. WrestleMania is all you got to say.
Well, we know that the whole OJ Bronco chase thing happened in June of 94, and like 95 million people tuned in here in America to watch the chase. So they're going to air that, and we're going to wink, wink, pretend that that's part of the match here, and it's not the OJ footage. But the rumor and innuendo is that it was suggested, what if OJ Simpson were to be a part of WrestleMania?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Do you remember hearing that? What can you tell us about this?
Hell yeah. Well, Vince is going to use him. He's going to book him. And at one time it was going to be Vince and God damn it. It's going to be Vince and not Vince and Piper. Who are we talking about there? Vince and somebody, OJ. And I don't know of anybody in Vince's inner circle that was for it.
Yeah.
Stay away from him. And Vince was somewhat reluctant to make that decision, but he did. It was the right decision to make.
I just wish we wouldn't have even done the the OJ footage. I realized at the time, things were different, but now it feels like, boy, we're sort of making light of a double murder there. Maybe not the best thing, but
Yeah, right.
it was a wild spectacle of a match. And by the time they get back in front of the live crowd, they're going to rip off the Goldust outfit of Dustin. And underneath, we see him wearing some women's black lingerie. Goldust loses, Piper wins. It's a fun moment in this character's story and evolution. And probably when you really think about what we're looking at here, just the spectacle of what we're seeing, unimaginable at any point prior to this, that you would see this happening in a WWF ring at WrestleMania and then know that's Dusty's son. That's the natural. Like, nobody would have ever imagined that this is where we would be. But the Goldust character now has made the mind of fans. Don't you agree?
Oh yeah, that's established. He's a made man, Conrad. Paid his dues as Goldust. He's a made man.
Do you think, with the benefit of hindsight, that match and moment would have been better with Scott Hall, or did it work out the way it was supposed to with Roddy?
Oh, I think it worked out the way it was supposed to with Roddy.
Yeah.
Roddy adds a different element, but that's what made him Roddy Piper. And there's only one. There's only one. Good shout out, Rod. I developed a great relationship with him over the years, thanks to Jerry Briscoe. Piper trusted no one, and I was just one of the office guys. And I told Briscoe, who worked with Roddy immensely, especially in the Carolinas, uh, I wanted to develop a relationship with Roddy that he could trust, and I need your help. And Jerry went through the clutter, opened the door for me to have a relationship with Roddy. We took advantage of it, and were very cooperative from that day forward. Communication, trust, communication.